Yeah, my F250 Super Duty V-10 was stuck in 4-wheel drive, and this isn't really a how-to video. I was just going to share what my problem was. Maybe it'll help somebody else out. It's a really easy fix. Now I tested this solenoid valve. Here's the battery. The solenoid valve for the locking hubs is right here. I'll add in a little video I took earlier. I made sure I had power to this connector and everything. Checked all the fuses. Fuses were all good and everything. Like I said, I got a little video I made a minute ago. This was no good. I'd buy a new one. It was only $30, so I didn't, whatever, it's not that big a deal. The hubs on my truck, my Super Duty V-10, operate on a vacuum, and got a vacuum solenoid right here. There's constant vacuum on this, and then my hub vacuum valves and a couple of pieces of vacuum tubing down, particularly down by where the road salt gets all over them, are pretty dry rotted and everything. I replaced those, and now I don't have a problem anymore. I have these manual locking hubs on mine, and 4-wheel drive switch in the cab. I had the lights on. It was in 4 low, so I had the lights on the dash. I mean, they're not on now. This isn't a how-to video, but anyway, what happened is this is the solenoid, vacuum solenoid switch. Here's the battery. Here's the passenger side. First I made sure I had power over here to the connector. I had vacuum. Get 2 vacuum lines. The lower one is the one that has constant vacuum on it. When the solenoid switch switches, it switches vacuum to the upper hose, which goes down to both the hubs. I had vacuum here. I just couldn't. The switch wouldn't switch over to supply vacuum. But anyway, make sure I had power to this connector over here. I had 11.6 volts, and I had a good ground and everything. The solenoid wasn't switching over. Wasn't diverting vacuum down into the hubs. Well, I looked at this and it was pretty bad. This is supposed to have a filter in here, but it was missing. I mean, it was just dry rotted. Apparently it had gotten wet and just kind of rotted out. The new solenoid came with a little diaphragm, a little plastic diaphragm right here. I have no idea what that was for, but this one did not have it. I didn't even bother running too many more tests on this. I just replaced it with the $31. It wasn't a big deal to me. As soon as I put the new solenoid switch in, it popped out of 4 low. That was the solenoid switch was one of the problems, and then the truck works all the time, so I don't always get a chance to work on it the way I want to. But I looked at the vacuum lines. But the hubs operate on a vacuum. Both the vacuum lines are pretty rotten. You can see right there's the hole for the, right there, there's the hole. It's hard to hold the camera in. There's a hole on the hub for the hub vacuum nipple, hub vacuum valve, I guess is what they call them. Somebody broke one of them off. One of them got broke off somehow, and the other one was pretty rusted, rotten. But both of these valves were, the vacuum lines were pretty rotten, so I just took them off. I'm just gonna replace the vacuum holes, the vacuum lines. I've got vacuum to go into all the fittings. The hose was all rotten. And these are the old differential vent valves that came off the truck. They were pretty bad. They're all clogged up, totally clogged up. One of them was snapped off like this right here. I rounded the heads off on them, trying to get them out of there. They were rusted on so bad. Totally clogged up with rust and dirt. This one was totally broke off. The vacuum hose was just kind of laying beside it. So ordered some new differential vent valves. These are just Dorman 924283 Dorman differential vent valves. I think I paid $6 or $7 for them. Yeah, these were totally clogged up. You should be able to see through them like that. They were rusted shut, rusted through and through. That was another piece of the puzzle. That's the way the nipple should look. That's the way the assembly should look. That's the way it should look when it's all in the way it's supposed to be.